we are late again. That is just kind of how we roll if you're new here.
Not as late, though.
No, not as late. This is record time. If anything, if you follow the slope, we're getting better. So, welcome on, everybody. Thank you for being here. Today, we're getting to another episode of You Saw That Right. This is episode 10. As you could tell by the thumbnail, we got some interesting things to talk about. Before we get into it, let's address some of your guys' comments here today. Raphael says hello. How you doing?
Hello.
Raphael? Tariq is here. Hi, Tariq. We've got XF Lexicon Matt says, I'm so looking forward to this one due to one show. Hi, everyone. I'm guessing that's Harry Potter, but we'll see. Jonathan says hi. Hi, Jonathan. So thank you guys for stopping on in, for being here. Rodney Joyce is here. Thank you, Rodney, for stopping in. They were talking about watching Stand By Me in the theater, so that's pretty cool. Rodney says hello all. Hello, Cam and Zay.
Hello.
And then we got Robert here saying they slow. Yeah, we're slow, but we're here, right? That's what matters. Richard says it's your absolute pleasure having me here. Yep. All right, so let's get into it. First up, guys, we're going to talk about something that we've been talking about pretty often. If you're new here, this is a topic that comes up frequently on the show. If you've been here for a while, you already know God of War. We got another casting announcement. So we're going to get into that real quick. Before we do, again, if you guys want to click on any of the articles in the description to check them out yourself, you're more than welcome to do so. This is really exciting. So I don't know if anybody has seen the show Lost, but there is a specific character on the show named Penny who is strongly connected to Desmond. And what we have is the new Freya in God of War will be played by the actress who played Penny in Lost. And her name was like Selma. I don't remember her name. Let me just check it out real quick. Penny in Lost. Her name, Sonia Walger. So sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrect, but she will be our new Freya. Now I find this very interesting. So this article came from Variety, and they kind of went into the character description of Freya, and it does seem like it's going to be very close to the game. They went on a whole list about like what Freya is about, but so I took a segment of that specifically because I feel like this is a really important part for us to know. Is Freya has lived alone in Midgard for a century, a recluse in a hidden glade, feared by humans and often referred to as the Witch of the Woods. And that's a really interesting segment of the character description. Again, that's from Variety that they included because in the game, Zay, how far are you in the game right now before I get too far?
Like 70% of the way. They have I think 2 of the boss fights left.
Okay. So what's really interesting is Freya in the game is this conflicted character who really wants to help you out, but her son is bolder.
Right.
So her son is like the main antagonist of the game. Yet she's also trying to, look out for him, but take your side. And so there's a lot of emotion and a lot of depth that this character has and a lot of layers that they can explore. And I think that having the actress who played Penny is a great choice in the sense that she was really good on Lost. I've seen Lost, and she really is good at having a relationship with another character or playing off that chemistry, playing off those emotions. And so I'm excited. For this. Again, we're getting more and more casting announcements, and I'm wondering though, I'll tell you what I'm worried about. It's a dog
under the trash. He's in the trash can. I had to hit her with a hat.
Oh my goodness gracious. Here's what I'm worried about. Okay. And I don't have much to go off of here, but we've got all of these characters. I mean, we have the floating head or the head on the pocket already casted, right? So we have all of these characters that are directly from the game. and I know that they're doing an adaptation, but here's what I'm worried about. I don't want a shot-for-shot remake. And
yeah.
I'm worried because we're getting all of these central characters casted and announced. I'm just worried we're going to see the game again, and I don't want to see that. But also don't stray too far from the game because
we want to see something within reason of it, but we still want to kind of get a different experience. You already played the game.
And what's interesting, I will say, is in the game, I'm sure you're aware of this because you're 70% through. You deal with Baldur and you deal with Freya, but Thor is not part of the first game. And neither is Odin. So
yeah, there's kind of mentioned.
Yeah. So how are they going to blend this? Are they going to keep it all in one? Is it going to be, I don't know. Like they've already got greenlit for 2 seasons. So maybe for season 1 is the first game, season 2 is the second game, but then how do they continue? Or maybe they found a way to kind of interlope both at the same time. I'm not sure. You guys will have to let us know what, your thoughts. I think that this was a interesting casting choice, but I like it personally. Zay, what are your thoughts? Have you seen Lost? Are you familiar with this actress? What do you think about looks? Do you think that she can portray Freya? We've seen pictures of the show already, so we know that they're pretty good with the makeup and the costume design. So, Zay, what are your thoughts about this news when you read it?
Yeah, so I've seen I'm on the last season of Lost. I think T and I have like 5 episodes left. And Sonya, it was great in Lost. She kind of does play almost like a conflicting, kind of like a conflicted-ish character too. In Lost as well. For people that have seen the show, there's kind of like butting heads between 2 male characters in regards to the relation of her. So interesting having kind of the same situation here, where you're going to have her son Baldur obviously butting heads with Kratos, and if you played the game. If not, it's not really a spoiler, but I am curious to see what they do here, like you said, with the show, because the casting is pretty much one. I think this is a great casting choice. I think she'll be able to portray Freya very well. But yeah, what could the storyline be for this? Because it is setting up to be almost like a shot for shot, is what it feels like, of God of War, like just adapting it. And then does that just mean that you're just going to do shot for shot for God of War Ragnarok? Like, will they just do that the next season? I hope not. I was kind of hoping we weren't going to get. It's cool because I'm playing the game. It'll be interesting to see it on screen. But I was kind of hoping, if anything, it would have been cool for them to adapt like the first God of Wars, because those are so much older and people are so much further removed from them that you might watch and be like, whoa, I want to play the game. This has to be mad fun. The story has to be super cool. So that I do have the same sentiment there, where I'm kind of nervous that this is just going to be a shot for shot. And if it is, I'm not going to be that interested in watching, because I'm like, well, I played it. Like, a lot different. If it was the other way around, it'd be a little bit different, because then it's like, oh, I get to be Kratos, etc. But I'm like, I've already been Kratos. I don't really want to watch someone else be Kratos. But then again, where would they even go from here if not shot for shot? What story are they going to pitch? Are we going to get more background? You stop biting your sister. Both of you. That's enough. I can see you on camera. But if not, where would the story go? Yeah, is it going to be like more background, like about Kratos and Atreus as when they were living in Midgard and everything, prior to everything hitting the fan and all the engagements, like a prequel type of thing?
Yeah, that would be interesting.
That would be interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited for the show. I'm excited for the adaptation. Again, I'm a huge proponent. I love when they do game to show or movie adaptations, especially when they're successful, because it's awesome seeing the 2 spheres merge since they're so closely aligned. But I just hope that we get more out of it than just a regurgitated story, just in film format or show format.
Yeah, we'll have to see. What are your guys' thoughts? Are you excited about this news? Have you seen Lost? Do you even know who this actress is? If not, do you think looks like she could play a good Freya? Have you looked into her? What are your thoughts on the show? Are you worried about a shot-for-shot remake? Are you thinking they'll take it in a different direction? Let us know. And before we get on to the next topic, we're going to look at what some of you guys have to say. XF says typical dog behavior, Zay.
One wants to sleep, the other one wants to play.
Mrs. Snapester says dogs behave. Migsy says dogs behave.
She's
let's see.
We're going to air prison.
You know what? It's just part of the process of having a new puppy. And she's getting big, dude. I'm telling you.
All right, sorry. What was the next comment?
She's getting big.
Oh, her?
Yeah.
She's very big.
Oh my goodness gracious.
You're in air jail. What you get? I'm like, arms are fucking shaky. She's so heavy now.
Richard says, I think the central character is integral to the story. They can be included and still have a fresh storyline. I agree.
Yeah, 100%.
I agree. But
will they do it though?
You know, like, I'm not saying that they should do this, but like, it would be interesting, like, if they announce like a cast member, or if they announce a casting of someone that isn't in the game, or give us some kind of hint, like, we're not doing everything completely, you know.
Right.
I don't know. Mrs. Snapester says she doesn't have opinion on this one. John says, I'm almost positive it won't be a shot-for-shot remake with this showrunner. You got a point.
I like that.
He did do Last of Us, right? And he did Chernobyl, I think. So
I believe Chernobyl as well.
So it's probably going to be like really good and not a shot-for-shot. Mixie says, I hated Lost and I watched it. And I watched
just so dramatic. The show is so dramatic. You know, I realize that though. It's about all those shows too. Like when I watched Prison Break for the first time, I was getting so pissed off because it's always it's they do this thing where they always are like, oh, you thought that was the top of the ladder? No, it goes up even above our heads. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And then like they're recruiting people. I'm like, all right. I'm like, Tina and I were literally like, all right, cool. We're several seasons in. Nothing else could happen. They got Michael in a fucking prison. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm like, how many times are you gonna break out? Oh,
it gets crazier and crazier.
It's so ridiculous.
I think Prison Break sequentially gets worse each season. Yeah, but I still think it starts really high.
It just loses like its essence because it's just like, okay. Like, oh, okay, of course.
Oh wait, so you're telling me this whole now this is like a world threat? You know, like
kind of like ridiculous. I'm like, weren't these guys in prison before? Now they're doing what?
But yeah, okay. Well, let us know what your guys' thoughts are in the comments. And Zay, why don't you take away the next article?
Yes. Hold on, let me see here. Let me just pull it up. Alrighty. So this is a show that I feel like many people will be acquainted with. I feel like in our audience, I know my parents, I think, have actually watched it. I've never personally watched it. Cam, you've never watched it, as far as I'm aware. But it's getting a reboot, and it's getting a reboot from a Grammy-winning winning Oscar-winning director, Mr. Ryan Coogler, who directed Sinners, as you guys know, and Wakanda, or Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Black Panther. The X-Files is getting a reboot now. I did just a quick brief little bit of digging just to kind of understand what the X-Files is. And it looks like it's regarding a lot of unexplained phenomena, but let's take this actual quote from Variety itself. The official log line for the show states, two highly decorated but vastly different FBI agents, Deadweiler, Patel, form an unlikely bond when they are assigned to a long-shuttered division devoted to cases involving unexplained phenomena. That came directly from Variety. I'm super interested in this. It makes me want to watch the original if they're going to be doing a reboot. And from what Variety is saying in regards to this reboot, it's going to be focusing on two totally new agents. It's not going to be focusing on the previous people. So it's going to be fresh in its own sense. We're going to have two new characters. For people that have seen the show, it'll be fresh for them. For us, it's fresh no matter what, since we've never seen it. And Coogler's writing and directing it, writing and directing the pilot. And I'm kind of interested now to see it because, again, Coogler is fantastic. He's a great director, super great director. I'm not too familiar with Patel or Deadweiler's work, to be honest. So I don't know what their chemistry could be like. It seems like there's high hopes that this is going to be a very good reboot or is going to perform well. Bold move, I think, whenever you're doing a reboot to shift from kind of when you're doing a reboot and kind of just going completely in a new direction, it can either be really good or really bad. Also, because this stuff is all, the show is relatively older. in a sense, and it's focused on these unexplained phenomena and stuff. And it's not that Nat in today's world were that the I'm trying to think here, like types of paranoia and things that might scare people aren't relevant. Like, I don't know, like you see people hunt ghosts, vampires, all sorts. People believe that there's all sorts of these creatures that may or may not exist in the world. But I wonder what direction they're going to go. Are they going to maintain following what seems to be like the past would be like aliens and stuff like that? Is it going to get more weird? We're like, I mean, Black Mirror is like something that plays really well off of modern paranoia and things that could be really freaky and scare the shit out of you. So I wonder what they're going to do here. I think having Coogler direct it is a fantastic choice. I think if you can get Coogler directing anything for you, it's a fantastic choice. But this seems like it's going to be more of a rebrand and not playing off of nostalgia. And that is, it's a dangerous game. I'm kind of all for it, though. I feel like why, reiterate the same thing. We kind of just talked about this with God of War. We kind of want them reiterating and regurgitating the same content. Cameron, I like you said, well, you told me you had not seen X-Files. Seems like, so your knowledge on it's pretty limited, but are you interested in watching the show, knowing it, that especially knowing Coogler's behind it? And if you were to watch the show, do you think you would go back and watch I think there's like 202 episodes originally. Would you go back and watch the original X-Files before moving in, or would you be like, yeah, you know what, I'll just watch the new stuff that Coogler's going to be putting out and working on, helping to work on?
Those are good questions. So first, I will say the article was more centered around like Patel being cast, but even just like you, I didn't really focus too much on that because this article is what kind of brought to our attention that this was even happening, that there was even an X-Files Ryan Coogler project happening. So that being said, I don't know much about Patel. If you do read the article, it kind of goes into his works. You can check it out. Maybe this is someone that you think will be great for the role. It looks like he's playing either opposite or like in partners with Deadweiler. And it's going to be a different like relationship. They're new characters. They're not from the old ones. Like you said, it's kind of like doing things new.
Oh my God. He was in Tenet.
Really? What did he play?
And we watched that together. You and I watched that. And he was in Don't Look Up as well.
Oh, okay.
So
maybe I'll recognize
him
more if I see
so
it.
Maybe, we probably just need a refresher. I didn't recognize it off the name or like the first look, but apologies. So we are familiar with his work. I can't pull character analysis off my head of how well he did in the films, but I imagine he did well. So,
but congratulations to him for getting this role.
Absolutely.
Either way, when it comes to the actual project itself, I'm excited. I don't know. It makes me want to go back and see what X-Files was more like. I know growing up, I know it was like very alien FBI type of situation, I believe. And I always thought it was just a little bit, as a kid, I felt like it was a little bit past my time. I feel like just a little bit. So I never really got into it too much. I never watched any episode. I did see it like on the channel when I was channel hopping and stuff like that, but I'm interested. The reason why I'm really interested in this is because unexplained phenomenon, agents, and Ryan Coogler, like those, you put those things together and something great ought to come from it. So it really flagged my attention when I saw this article because I was like, well, one, I know our audience probably has a relationship with X-Files. They're a little bit older than us, so they probably are really excited about this. But also because, Ryan Coogler, was just kind of, did he win Best Director or did he win Best Original Screenplay for the movie? I know he won. I know the movie won Best Original Screenplay.
I'm not entirely sure. I don't know.
But either way, Oscar
let us
winning.
know in the comments if you guys know off the top of your head.
Yeah. And so I just feel like it's a relevant time to like get into this and talk about this. It seems like even from the comments as we're talking about this, our audience just really enjoys the show. And we'll get into some of these in a moment here. But I just think that this could be going in a really interesting and positive direction. I'm curious if it's going to play into the original. Like, is it going to be a complete reboot? Is it going to be a continuation? You brought up
like maybe they even reference like the old agents from the original.
Yeah, like they could even start it off and be like, we haven't seen any of them in 20 years. Like maybe they got taken. I don't know. They were investigating too much.
They knew too much.
But it is, something that I wonder how they're going to execute this. You brought up a good point. Are they going to do more of a modern day X-Files type of situation? Because the way that you would do something like that nowadays would be very, 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 very different than how you would do it back then, especially with all the technology we have now, the cameras, the fact that everybody has social media, all of these things would play into it. Or are they going to take place more around that time and kind of stay consistent with the tone and the environment of everything? I wouldn't be against watching like it taking place in the 90s or something, because that adds a little bit more.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it would add more of that kind of like, there isn't like information you can share with everybody super quickly type of situation. So I think that if they had said, I think that this could have been very bad news if it was by someone that I didn't think was a phenomenal like person in the industry, like Ryan Coogler. Mm-hmm. So I have hope in it. I have faith in it. I think that this is going to be an awesome time, and I'm definitely going to tune in. I just don't know if I want to watch the previous X-Files first. I think I want to just go into this blind, like as is. Yeah. So what are your guys' thoughts? Are you excited about this? You guys have been writing a lot in the comments, so I want to kind of get into some of these and see what you guys think. If Ryan Coogler and oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying also cool which shows that they maintain having the male female like co-stars in it. Sometimes shows are weird and they like reboot and it's like they adjust stuff like that. Like, oh, I think the framework should stay the same. I've seen shows where like they'd move to like 2 female like stars or 2 male stars. Like, well, hold on, like because that might have been some of the chemistry in Allure was having a male female protagonist working together. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are your guys' thoughts? Are you excited about this? Do you think Ryan Coogler is a good match for something like the X-Files? It does feel like it might be, from his work that I've seen, it might be a small detour away from what he usually does. I think it definitely aligns probably a little bit with Sinners because he was able to make this vampire flick. So I do think that he could be a really good match. What do you guys think? Do you think that this could be good? Are you excited? How much do you know about the original X-Files? Let's get into this. Now, there was a specific comment that I saw that I wanted to bring up from XF Lexicon. Matt, I didn't even know this. XF stands for X-Files. And he says, full disclosure, folks, I am the webmaster of the X-Files lexicon since 2005. Hence, XF Lexicon. Matt, following this is a great deal. So what are the odds that we would come across an article and put it on the show about something that one of our frequent flyers here is named after? So
that's crazy.
That is crazy. So I'm guessing he's following it a great deal. I'm curious more about his thoughts on this. Kevin says, Ryan Coogler is very talented. Folks be negative toward cast X-Files reboot because cast going to black lead. I don't think that matters. haven't seen the original, so I don't know if it's...
Oh, because it is, because they are kind of moving away from the original, I guess, in that sense. That shouldn't be a big deal, but I think the original stars were, you had Gillian Anderson, white female, and then David Duchovny, who was what? So I guess they are moving in a different direction, but that shouldn't be. But again, it's 2 new characters. Who cares? Actually, so it doesn't matter. It's 2 new characters.
Exactly. You're not even
they were recasting the original, and they did that. I'd be like, well, hold on. I'd be like,
we could have a conversation about that, maybe.
Yeah,
like
it's 2 new characters.
New characters. Who cares? John says Ryan Coogler's mom was a huge X-Files fan, and it was one of his favorite shows.
Interesting.
Okay. So we have an investment here. Like we have personal stakes tied to this, so that's interesting. Migsy says, now I loved X-Files. I remember recording on VHS Friday nights when I couldn't catch it live on Fox back in the day. I mean, I remember it being a thing.
I remember hearing about it a lot, but I was like, I don't know what that is. Wasn't my type of show at the time.
Yeah. Mrs. Snapester says, okay, I'm going to sound mean, but why does everything have to be rebooted? There are no new ideas under the sun, people. Well, here's my response to that. There are new ideas under the sun, but things keep getting rebooted because people keep going out to see these reboots. That's what you got to keep in mind. If reboots weren't successful, we wouldn't be doing them. Now, I understand the issue with that because you're like, well, I don't care. I want new things. Everybody does. However, we live in a society where success breeds more success. So
right.
You follow the money sometimes, and I get it. If at the end of the day, though, if you make it good, I don't care.
Now, I will say too with this, it's again, I'm going to give it a little merit because it's not necessarily just reskinning the previous X-Files, and the original X-Files did release, it looks like, in like 1993 to 2002 was the original period. They did come back and release 2 more seasons in 2016, 2018. But I feel like this is my thing with reboots. We're 30 years, right? Yeah, about 30 years removed from it. So it's like, I'm not necessarily against it. And if you're going new direction with new characters, sure, I think that it can be fine. But you're going to have some angry people if this is a bad reboot. I mean, it's Ryan Coogler. I have faith in him. But if it doesn't do well, yeah, you're going to have the I told you so's, and you're going to have a lot of people that are pissed off. But I don't think it's hurting the original at all. You know what I mean? We're not really like, it's not damaging the reputation of the original. Just probably, it might not be as good as the original because that was an original idea. But like Cam said, if people go out to see the reboots and are watching the reboots, they're going to keep rebooting it. As long as there's a good grace period, though, I'm not necessarily against it. So,
yeah, I agree. I think that's a good point. Richard says, I love the original X-Files. I'll give it a go. XF says, I'm excited with Coogler on board. Good casting choices. We shall see. Jonathan says, one of the original show leads has read the pilot script and you said it's really good.
Okay.
Oh, one of the original leads.
One of the original leads, yeah. Oh, yeah, one of the leads in the new show read it, and he's like, yo, this is bangs.
Yeah, I would have taken that with a grain of salt.
That's why I see your face. You're like, I don't think that's how that works.
Malalai says, I personally are very excited for this reboot despite not watching the original show. Richard says the original is very alien existence centric.
Yeah, someone also said that it's like more than just we weren't trying to say it's only aliens. There's like a whole bunch of phenomena that exist, but I just knew about the aliens that existed in it or is supposed to exist in it or however the frick it works.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, XF says X-Files was more than just aliens, monsters, unexplained phenomena, things like Jersey Devils. Interesting.
Maybe Chupacabra.
Just worried, like if you're working in a world where all of these things are happening, it feels like I haven't seen the original, so I'm not talking about X-Files.
Mm-hmm.
But an idea like this feels like it could get cheesy quickly. Like, what's the monster of the week?
What are we hunting today, boys?
Yeah, like on this episode, we've got a water demon who comes out of the toilet. We gotta flush him
too. I will say as well. Here's another struggle I feel like it could have is that we're like these things like that Lexicon Matt was mentioning, like Jersey Devils and I don't know, like Chupacabra and like all these types of like folklorish creatures that could be involved. These are folklore creatures that like have already been explored or like there's no new folklore creatures I feel like that ever pop up. So it's
Slenderman.
Well, Slenderman's newer. That's fair.
There could be things like that.
But that's what I'm saying. Is like, man, like, yeah, where are you gonna go from here? What are you gonna explore?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And how do you work in a world where they all exist? Like how did it just seems a little bit cabin in the woodsy if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. Anyways, thank you guys for letting us know your comments. If you're watching this after it being live, leave your comments down in the description or down below. We'll be curious to see what your thoughts are. Then we'll get into the next one. Here's the next article. So I find this to be interesting. Okay. Because we did God of War, and then we did X-Files. So here's the next one. Okay. Jumanji 3. Oh, and again, the X-Files articles from Variety. This next one is also from Variety. Jumanji 3 has moved its release date not far, about 2 weeks later. They were going to release on the 11th of December. Now they're going to release on the 25th of December.
Okay.
And according to Variety, this is kind of what they put in. The move strategically shifts Jumanji 3 to hit theaters after the launches of Dune Part 3 and Avengers Doomsday on December 18th. Now everyone's calling that kind of double release Doomsday. That's kind of the thing. So if you look at the thumbnail, I wrote Jumanji on it because I thought maybe that's something. But anyways, listen, strategic, I don't know. I honestly wonder, I'm curious about this. It doesn't seem like they moved it for, and this is my speculation. It doesn't seem like they moved Jumanji 4 technically, yeah, but like the new Jumanji cast number 3. It doesn't seem like they moved it for VFX work or for post-production or for reshoots because they're moving it 2 weeks out. It seems like they moved it because they believe strategically that by moving it but after Dune and Avengers, that it must perform better, I'm guessing is their idea.
Which is a bold move. Again,
it's a bold move because the way I look at it, their best chance is putting it before the movies come out. Because I know me personally, if I go and I watch Avengers Doomsday the first weekend, I might go see Dune 3 the next weekend. Or if I'm watching Dune 3 the first weekend, I might go see Avengers the next weekend. Better yet, on top of that, if I watch Avengers Doomsday and I really enjoy it, guess what I'm going to go see next weekend again? Avengers Doomsday. And so if you put Jumanji behind these two, I feel like it's going to be out-competed like significantly. Now, the other Jumanjis came around at this time, according to the article, and they've done well. But I feel like if you at least put it out before the 2 come out, then the 2 will come out on its second weekend. It might not do great on its second weekend, but it has stronger start on the weekend before because it has no competition at that point. So I don't know. I don't think this is a strategic move. I'm worried about it. If it came out prior to Avengers, I probably would have seen it that weekend. Now, I don't even know if I'll see it on the weekend it opens because I might enjoy Avengers so much I want to watch Avengers again. Or I might watch Avengers one weekend and see Dune the next. So I don't know if this was a good decision. Clearly, I'm not the experts here. They've got multiple people working on a team, logistics people, and I'm sure they calculated that this was the best move. I don't know why, though. I'm curious. Zay, what are your thoughts when you found out about this? Do you see the strategy? Do you see something I'm missing, or do you agree? Do you think that maybe was a blunder and perhaps it really would have been better to come out a week before these movies, or even a totally different time altogether? And another thing is it's Christmas Day. So how does that affect things? What are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever been, I'm not a fan of releasing a movie on Christmas Day, because here's the thing is at the end of Christmas Day, people are going to be with their family and stuff. Like, I don't know many people that go see a movie on Christmas Day. I don't think I've ever met anyone that's like, oh yeah, I went to the movie theaters and went and watched this because it released. Like, I feel like even an Avengers movie dropping Christmas Day would still vastly underperform, because as much as people would want to see it, they'd be like, well, it's Christmas Day. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Very bold move. Putting it behind two of the arguably biggest, franchises right now. I mean, Dune's a very popular franchise. I want to say it's one of the biggest, but Marvel Avengers, massive. And then you have Dune, and Dune has loved by a lot of people. I've never seen them, so I can't speak on what I think of them. But yeah, to move it behind those two, if anything, like, I don't know, if anything, if I was like, hey, I'm going to go see the movies, like, and I had 2 out of 3 movies I could see, you're probably going to see Avengers and then Dune. And then if Jumanji's still there, you'd be like, I'll see it. But like, you have it before it, some people might go see, because like, oh, you know what? I did enjoy the first, and let me go check it out. And then it's like, I don't know. I think this could be a blunder. I don't know if the thought process is that this is like, I don't know, maybe the studio is like, hey, this is the best thing we'll have. Because usually, as far as I know, in the film industry, they kind of save their best movies for later in the year. Like, they usually kind of kick out shit that they don't really care that much about in the beginning. And we've seen it progressively get better throughout. So maybe that's their move. And this is like hopefully their holy grail. I don't really know. Also, how is there 3 Jumanji movies? Is a little. I haven't seen the first 2, but in the original movie.
Haven't?
No, but the original was only one movie, and so I'm like so
Well,
curious.
it's not a remake of the original. So the original was a board game, and then
this is like a video game, right?
Right, but it's like it's like later on, like the explanation is that like the game of Jumanji adapts to be desired by the current generation, essentially. So it was a board game, now it's a video game, but it's still Jumanji. And
yeah, but 3 movies out of like, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm like, you're still in this world. Because as far as I know, the original, you had Jumanji, and then you had Zathura, which I have seen. I never knew that was a sequel, which is funny.
Was it a sequel?
Yeah. So actually what happens is that Peter and Judy from the first Jumanji, they get out of it. Spoiler alert. It released in 1981. So
yeah.
They get rid of the game, and their 2 neighbors, Danny and Walter, their 2 young brothers, they find the game, they find Jumanji, but they don't end up playing it. They play Zathura, which is the space.
Right.
And so it is a sequel. It's in the same space. So that's why I'm like, man, 3 Jumanji movies. I'm surprised they haven't tried to go the Zathura route, but now I'm kind of happy they don't, because
I know I want to see a new Zathura.
A new Zathura would be very cool. But I'm glad they didn't just do copy paste and go 1-to-1. So I'm interested now to see this film. I just think that the release window is not a great idea necessarily. Who knows? I mean, they did pull in massive numbers off the first 2, so they're also probably banking on people loved or seem to have loved the first one. I don't know what critics thought about it, but box office speaks numbers. It did very well worldwide.
It was fun. First one was fun.
And Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Kevin Hart, and Jack Black. I mean, already Dwayne and Kevin are like one of my favorite people chemistry wise, as is, when I ever see them together. And then throwing Jack Black in the mix, I can only imagine it gets wild and wacky. So I'm not a fan of the window release but actually, even just looking, they release the first one on December 20th, and then they release the second one December 13th. So it's interesting that they pushed it out a week when they usually are in like a week. The first 2 were in a week window of each other. So I don't know. It's a bold move. It's a very bold move. And I guess we'll have to see if it pays off. But let's see what everyone else has to say about.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. What do you guys have to say? Are you excited for the movie, or do you think that it was a bad move? Do you think that it was a smart move? Can you see something about the move that we're not seeing? I mean, we know it's on Christmas Day, but I don't know if that does anything beneficial as opposed to having it before on the previous day. What are your guys' thoughts about this whole situation? Let's see. We've got John who says, every studio usually has a Christmas Day release. They must think this is their best option for that.
That's interesting. Okay.
Okay, but like, listen, honestly, let's be honest, okay? This is the truth of the matter, in my opinion. This is what I believe to be true, okay? This decision was made because they believe it will bring them the most money. They're not going to be like, oh, we want a Christmas Day movie. We don't care if it's going to lose us a couple million. No, no, they're going to release it on the 11th if they think that would have made them more money, in my opinion. So the question is, why did they think that this was going to make them more money? That's my question. XF says they probably need to move the date. Not a bad idea, but why? Why is it not a bad idea? Tariq says it's probably best that they move the date because if they played before those 2 movies came out, both of these movies combined is blowing Jumanji away. I get that. Like the second weekend of Jumanji would just crash and tank. I understand that. But I think the first weekend of Jumanji is going to get hit really hard too, coming out just a week after Dune and Avengers. Zay, do you see any you want me to pull up?
No, not off the top of my head. I just think it's going to be interesting to see.
Okay.
I mean, at the end of the day, I didn't realize studios really kept for Christmas Day releases. Again, if anything, you'd think maybe Christmas Eve, like, right? Because Christmas Eve, like, you can kind of sneak away. People don't, you got to get home, this, that, or like the day before
right.
Christmas Eve or after. I don't know. It's a very bold move.
Well, John says Christmas Day is a big movie day because other things are closed for people who don't celebrate Christmas. That I understand, but I don't think that that's significantly large enough to, like, guess what? People who don't celebrate Christmas are also going to be available to go watch the movie 2 weeks before. I mean, I get it. They need something to do. But again, they can go watch Avengers or Dune on if they're going to go to the movie theater. So, Rat's Cat says, "Hey, my brother and I saw Return of the King on Christmas Day. That's pretty cool." We don't. What I'm not okay. You guys got to understand something. I'm not saying why would they release this movie on Christmas Day. Nobody's gonna go and see it because it's Christmas Day. What we're saying is, why are they releasing this movie on a weekend that is the second weekend of the two biggest movies of the year, arguably? Yes, it happens to be on Christmas Day, but the argument that people will still go see the movie on Christmas Day can be applied to Avengers and Dune. So, because that's still at the movies, people can go see that on Christmas Day too. Why would anybody choose Jumanji over those if they're successful enough, or if someone on the first weekend sees one, the second weekend sees the other? Let's see. Migsy says, critically and financially, the Jumanji sequel, Welcome to the Jungle, was a real surprise because critics were generally surprised how well written and reverent to the first one the movie was.
And I noticed that because when I was looking at the Rotten Tomatoes, it was like 55% for the first one and then 77% for the second one. I was like, oh, like, so there must have been a leap. I mean,
of the new Jumanji movies?
Of the new Jumanji movies, the first one had a lower rating than the second one. The second one
I like the first one more. That's interesting.
I mean, it's just always interesting seeing stuff like that. I wonder what the difference was. I mean, again, I don't know. You guys know better than I do. I have to still see it.
Okay. All right. Well, let us know down in the comments below. If you're not watching this while it's live, what are your thoughts? Thank you guys for giving us your thoughts on that. Let's move on to the next topic. Zay, you want to take this one away? Speaking of Return of the King, I guess.
Speaking of Return of the King, and this is a very, very interesting article. This is coming straight from The Hollywood Reporter. Stephen Colbert is co-writing a new Lord of the Rings movie. Wow. So in the beginning, everyone's gonna be skeptical. I'm sure. I did not know this. I don't know how anyone ever know this. Stephen Colbert has a scholarly obsession with Tolkien lore. He is a massive Tolkien fan, super, super invested into it. And, kind of aligns with article we discussed last week regarding the Backrooms film, where we had the person actually that was creating the whole Backrooms story on their own YouTube channel, got pulled into actually helping produce the upcoming movie. This is a rare occurrence where you have a fan turned into a creator, basically. Now, calling Stephen Colbert a fan of something is kind of funny because the dude's massively famous, but everyone's a fan of something, right? And the film he's actually going to be co-writing is the second installment out of two films that will be coming. The first being Lord of the Rings Hunt for Gollum, which is currently in production and I think releasing in 2027. But again, this kind of caught me very, very off guard. I didn't even know that they were pushing to try to expand these films even more. This quote right here actually comes from Hollywood Reporter in regards to where this film's taking place. 14 years after the passing of Sam, Merry, and Pippin set out to retrace the first steps of their adventure. Meanwhile, Sam's daughter, Eleanor, has discovered a long-buried secret and is determined to uncover why the War of the Ring was very nearly lost before it ever began. The synopsis reads, and again, from the Hollywood Reporter. So this basically is taking in between of the Hobbit trilogy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
That would be the first. The first Hunt for Gollum
will be taken. Which this article has a lot. Stephen Colbert. I feel like they talked about Stephen Colbert co-writing it, but it also gave you way more information outside of that. Again, go read the article. So very interesting that Stephen Colbert is co-writing it. Also interesting that they're actually, I believe, bringing back some people for this film. Ian McKellen's returning as Gandalf. Andy Serkis will be reprising Gollum as well. And Elijah Wood hinted that he might be Frodo again.
Well, that would be for the Hunt for Gollum, right?
Gollum, yes. Right. But just interesting. I imagine some of these things might transfer in. It's just very interesting that they're expanding this world again. I was kind of very surprised. The Hunt for Gollum's kind of interesting because I'm wondering, like, what is the main storyline of that? But Stephen Colbert being a absolute like nerd for Tolkien lore is kind of crazy, and it makes me wonder. When you bring in somebody like Stephen Colbert, he's a late night host, he's very funny. He's a very funny dude. How well is he going to be able to transfer into this type of film? Because Lord of the Ring films, there's some comedic areas in it, but there's some dark areas in it too. There's some serious, topics and themes that are explored. And so I wonder how he's going to do with co-writing it, and how much influence in how much is his hand going to really be played in this? Is he kind of just on it for just references of like, hey, no, that wouldn't be accurate because of this, that, and the other thing? Or is he going to be like full blown, like involved in the writing, like saying, no, this should happen here, saying he's co-writing it. I don't know how much his opinion's going to weigh in it. I mean, obviously he's very knowledgeable about the whole world of Lord of the Rings. So I imagine they're going to take anything he says and his opinions relatively seriously with some weight and try to, help shape this film. But, I mean, like overall, he might be the right person to co-write it because he's so familiar with the world. But creatively, how creative is he going to be able to get? I mean, Cam, when you're looking at this, how over the top Lord of the Rings is, how mystical and fantastical everything that occurs is. The stories were great. We watched the extended version of all the original trilogy, and we did the Hobbit trilogy as well. Are you excited for Stephen Colbert's installment? Do you think this, having him writing or co-writing this, might also be a turnoff for some people, whether they don't like him as a show host, like for his late night show, or maybe they think like, there's no way this guy, even though he has all this knowledge, how is he going to ever, be able to transfer? How is he going to be able to be as creative as like the world was created by Tolkien, from the books?
You bring up a great point. So with Stephen Colbert, I think that having someone that involved into the lore and that much of a fan, I think it's a good start, because then we have someone who can point things out that the fans are going to point out, like this thing, I promise you, this thing is going to get picked apart like vultures. So
if it's not good, it's going to get shredded.
Even if it is good, you got to make sure there's no contradictions. Be like, no. Or just like the idea, the lore is so in depth. Like if they pronounce an elven word wrong, that will be noticed. Do you get what I'm saying? Like if they use the wrong vowel for an orc speaking, that's going to get noticed. Like these fans are going to pick it apart. So it's good to have someone like Stephen Colbert involved, because he can kind of be that guiding voice of like, hey, no, in the books, it would not go like this, or hey, it would not be like this, or I think that this would upset the fans. So having that person involved is great. We just don't know how Stephen Colbert will do, because what have we seen from him? Like from a writing standpoint, what projects has he written? What projects has he been involved that we would all know that has been successful? Maybe there's something that I'm not thinking of, but
nothing off the top of my head. But I will say too, just to go at bat for him a little bit, what's interesting too is the Late Show with him is canceled at the final episodes in May of this year. So he could just go full send into just co-writing this now. He's not going to be worried about that. And so that might be able to shift. He has some time to shift into that mindset. But I agree. What has he been a part of that has been that prominent in the film industry? Obviously, his show is very popular, but I don't know if he's ever worked on a movie or anything like that.
And I'll tell you what, if he doesn't do good on this, he ain't gonna get any job. I mean, I don't know.
Listen, you can't claim that you're like a Tolkien nerd and then get a chance to co-write. And if you fuck it up, people are gonna dog you.
Dude, good luck finding another opportunity after that. But I think that I would, like, if I was a betting man, I'd probably bet on this being good. I mean, Peter Jackson is involved. I think it's exciting. I think the area of the book that they want to focus on is like the beginning of the Fellowship. Like there's like a couple chapters or something he saw that he wanted to do. You could read it in the article. But I feel like that's such an interesting, like, whole side of the story to do a movie on, because it's, it's self-contained. It takes place like slightly before the Fellowship, or wait, no. that was weird actually, because the story that it seemed like they wanted to do was like towards the beginning of the Fellowship, but from the article, it seems like it takes place 14 years after the passing. However, to be fair, it does say 14 years after the passing of Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin set out to retrace the first steps of their adventure, which is referring. Yeah. And meanwhile, Sam's daughter Eleanor has discovered a long-buried secret and is determined to uncover why the War of the Ring was very nearly lost before it even began. I think that's interesting.
Because it's interesting, because from the sound of that quote, it makes it feel like, okay, so they're going to retrace their first steps, and Sam's daughter is going to try. Like, what could the secret be that is like uncovering why the War of the Ring was very, I guess no, actually that'd
it's interesting. It's interesting because where are they going to go with that, in the sense that the ring has been destroyed?
Right.
So what's the point of retracing your steps?
And what's the secret that you found?
Something is, and what's the relevance of the secret? It gets you interested. I'm on board. I'm interested. I think Stephen Colbert is a very interesting choice, but for being a fan of what he is, I think we can be on board with this. Peter Jackson seemed to like what he had going. So, and like, it's about damn time. I mean, I know they did the Hobbit trilogy, but like with all these reboots and IP visits and all of these things, I mean, you think Lord of the Rings, like the largest, one of the most successful and critically acclaimed trilogies of all times, you think that would be visited more. I guess it makes sense because they did Rings of Power, which did not fare well with most people.
I didn't think Rings of Power. I mean, I never went back and watched like anything else that came out after we watched like the first season together.
And I enjoyed Rings of Power, but the problem is we didn't read the source material. It's the people who.
What the issue is?
Yeah, that was the issue with a lot of people. Is like, this is not source material.
That's crazy. Why do you do that? Why do people do that though? Don't stray from the source, man.
I don't know in that situation. But I'm excited. What are your guys' thoughts? Are you interested in this? Do you think Stephen Colbert is a good choice? Are you worried? Do you know anything else that he's written of? Do you think that they shouldn't try this? What are your thoughts? Let's see. What do we got here?
I answered a couple questions in there. They were just like questions of people catching up on what we're talking about.
Oh, okay.
So just
Lonnie says, so excited for anything Lord of the Rings, and I think it will focus on the Tom Bombadil story from Fellowship, which was not included in the Peter Jackson film. I think you have a good point, because I don't know the Tom Bombadil story, but I do know a big complaint with the Lord of the Rings trilogy is that Tom Bombadil, I guess in the book, is a very prevalent character that was not included, and everybody had a problem with that.
Really?
So that could be where they're going. I don't know the story, so I wouldn't be able to tell you if that's...
You can't miss anything when it comes to some of this shit. The fandom that exists around these franchises, man, Star Wars, Star Trek, Lord of the Rings, you can't miss a note. If you miss a note, you get dogged out. That's crazy. Interesting that they would leave such an important character out, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was a huge controversy about it.
Oh, yeah, I believe it.
Let's see. Migsy says, yeah, he treasures his sword from when he got to be in Return of the King, and he's only in it for like less than 30 seconds non-spoken cameo. That's crazy.
That's actually
so. I'm guessing they're talking about Bombadil.
That's actually insane.
Lonnie says Colbert made a cameo in The Desolation of Smog.
Really?
That's interesting.
Oh, now well, you can find another one. I'm actually going to see if I can find an image of that.
Sean says Colbert is a D&D fan as well, so that could be a bonus for us fantasy nerds. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
No shit, he really is. Oh my god.
He is, huh?
Yeah, he was a Lake Town spy named Felder Hook. It was a very brief. I would have not have recognized him off it. I'll show you the image after. But if you guys want to look, just look up Stephen Colbert cameo Lord of the Rings. I never would have recognized him. I would not have picked him out. That's funny. Good for him.
Huh. Star-Lord says he'll be fine. Peter Jackson going to be on that ass. Like he's going to be on his
He's
back.
invested too in making it well. That's what I like, having those two sides.
I think there's good things coming. John says Colbert writing Lord of the Rings is like when there were discussions for Quentin Tarantino making a Star Trek movie. It seemed weird, but he is a fan, so he wants it to be good. Yeah, I think that's the main consensus.
Yeah, 100%. Quentin Tarantino would be interesting directing that.
Yeah, I know, right? Tariq says, shout out to Ian McKellen coming back to play Gandalf again. I'm sorry. I know. Ian McKellen, this man, when he was playing Magneto and when he was playing Gandalf 26 years ago, he was old.
My boy's 86.
I mean, what the
He's
fuck?
86 and still kicking and doesn't give a damn.
And he's playing
Sir
Magneto
Ian
again
McKellen,
in Avengers.
mind you. It's Sir Ian McKellen.
And Sir Ian McKellen is playing Magneto again in Avengers and Gandalf again in this new. My gosh. My goodness gracious.
Ian McKellen's a goat, bro.
Yeah, he is a goat. All right, guys, let us know if you're not watching this live. Put down in the comments your thoughts. I'm excited to see how this goes. But there is another IP that we got some new information on, and we're going to get into our main topic of the show. I'm sure everybody is aware. We've talked about it on a previous episode, if you saw that, right, where we talked about the score being done by, was it Hans Zimmer, for the Harry Potter show. And apparently, because now HBO Max or HBO or whatever is releasing, they're doing their thing in London. They wanted to release the Harry Potter trailer kind of like at the debut at the same time. Now, the Harry Potter trailer released, and it has been garnering, from what I've seen so far, good things and bad things. Controversy galore. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. As somebody who recently watched the entire Harry Potter series with my wife, because she loves Harry Potter, and then watched this trailer, I thought, this looks like it could be really good. And I think that this type of storytelling works better in a show format, having seen the trailer. I feel like we can invest more with the characters. We can spend more time with the characters. I felt like they captured the feeling of the movie, of the movies. There is some things missing. I think that they needed to show more of the magic usage, but as a first teaser, I think it got me excited and I think it got me interested. Okay. And also, this article is on Deadline. You can check it out. They also mention that the Succession duo, Francesca Gardner and Mark Malloyd, write and direct respectively. And Gardner serves as a showrunner and executive producer, and Mylod will direct multiple episodes in addition to serving as executive producer. So they got the guys in Succession. So I'm guessing there might be like a little more of a mystery twist involved. But there with Harry Potter, there's always this kind of like mystery element, especially towards the beginning of the show, or the beginning of the series, the movies. I saw the trailer and I became more excited for the show. Okay. That's my final take on it. Were there things that I think could be done better or could have been shown more in the trailer? Yes. Some of the controversies that we see are, the casting of Snape. We've seen controversy. I've seen controversy of like, it feels more vanilla. It feels like Harry Potter without the seasoning, that kind of thing. I get that. But I think that's because with a show, you can't have everything packed in an hour and a half or 2 hours. It's going to have more moments of character development, things like that. I think, though, I always felt like the original Harry Potter series, the movies had this like colder tone to them. So I feel like, that's fine.
It's kind of like the original Spider-Man versus like Tom Holland, where it's like the old Spider-Man is like Tobey Maguire's like, that was like a dark, or Andrew Garfield's had like some dark tones, where Tom Holland's felt like more light.
Right. I think when it comes to the whole Snape situation, here are my thoughts, okay? If the skin color is not a central, and I've heard of this from other people as well, and I agree with this. If the skin color is not a central part of who this character is, then I think we should judge based off of the performance. However, I will say one of the things that, although it was confirmed to not be the case, when I was watching the Harry Potter series, the movies, one of the things in the back of my head was, is Snape really Harry's father? And if you've seen the movie, you could if you've seen the movies, you could understand where that thought process comes from.
Okay.
And it made the movies more interesting. You won't have that thought process with the series. Now, that's fine. Maybe they're going in a different direction. That's the only part where I'm like, okay, they've removed the element of mystery there. But I understand that it was already confirmed that that's not the case in the original either. It was just in a personal experience I enjoyed while watching.
Well, they solidified it with the casting of Snape in this one.
Right. So they've removed that possibility, and anybody who doesn't know for sure. Other than that, we'll have to see how it goes. Honestly, we'll have to see how the performance is. I think the casting seems fine to me. I don't have any, like, if we watch it and we're like, wow, this is not Snape. This doesn't feel like Snape. This doesn't have any vibe of it. This guy is horrible at performing Snape. Then I feel like there might be more merit to wonder why they casted him, unless it was for something like what people are complaining about. But if the performance is good, if he invokes the character, then we could see why they casted him. Then we can put all this controversy to rest, I guess. I feel like that's my personal thoughts. But I am more excited. I thought the score was really cool in the trailer. I am really excited to see like the Quidditch scenes and all this stuff. Zay, as somebody who has not seen the Harry Potter movies, or has maybe seen one or two and don't remember much, I'm not sure what you know about the Harry Potter movies. What are your thoughts about this series? The trailer that came out, are you excited about it? What are your thoughts about the casting? What's your whole mindset about everything?
So overall, the trailer looks good. Now, because we've kind of covered this already a couple times in regards to some of the topics that we've covered, I should say, regarding reboots and stuff like that and continuations. I think it's interesting just that, not having seen any of the Harry Potters, but this is supposed to basically be like the first movie and following the first book, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, first season is the first movie / book story.
I don't hate it, because I like when books get adapted to shows rather than movies, because shows give you way more runtime, so you can explore the whole movie, right? You have 10 episodes, hour each. That's 10 hours. You can't make a movie 10 hours. No one's sitting there watching a movie. So it gives them a chance to really, really hone in on source material and really follow the story. Stuff that might have got left out that people might have loved. Again, we just talked about how, when you have fandoms like Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter is another huge fandom. My coworker that sits behind me is the biggest Harry Potter dude I've ever met. He loves everything about it. I think with the casting, again, yeah, like you said, it's not like people act like we're making a Martin Luther King movie and Martin Luther King's a white dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's right.
It's like, it's not that important to the story. Like, unless they specifically say in the book, Snape was a tall, black-haired white man, that is like, okay,
but even if they did say that, the question would be, would this be something central to the character? Like, if they said that Snape was Polish and all of his history is around his Polish origin, and he uses that as part of his character, or he brings that up a lot, then you'd be like, okay, why is he black?
I just think I'm like one deviation like removed from you in it, where it's like if they say in the book the source material, like the dude's a white dude, then I think okay, just humor everybody and I don't think it's that serious, but pander to the audience. They're gonna be like, well, you literally, because then it's like you're taking creative liberties that were, it's unless the author is like, no, I greenlit them casting this person instead. You're kind of taking creative liberties that are like, at that point, I'm not saying
here's my objection is that if you have someone whose performance is better than anybody else's and their skin color is not the same as what it says in the book, I think you should still cast the one with the best performance. I think
that's true. I think it's about, it's about the quality of what you're going to produce. That's very fair. I'm just arguing the other side of it. It's like
the source, staying true to the source material aspect. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but in regards to the casting, I'm not mad about the casting. I know some people are. I mean, grow up. It's not that big of a fucking deal. I mean, listen, Ariel in Little Mermaid, she was white in the animation. She's black in the movie. And people were making the biggest uproar. It's like, fucking, who cares? Like, does it really matter? It's not. Like I will tell you to the story necessarily
or to the character. I'll tell you an example of one that I actually don't feel like I agree with. Now I could be corrected. So when it comes to my understanding of these things, I'm not perfect. However, I do believe in the story Snow White is called Snow White because of her skin.
White is, no, it's supposed to be like fair, as far as I'm aware.
And so when you cast someone that doesn't have that as Snow White.
Oh, because that did happen. What's her name? And she was making a big stink about it too. Bad press.
Well, look, again, I don't know. I didn't watch the movie, so I don't know what direction they went. But that's a situation where I feel like, okay, you're ignoring essential aspects about the character that's stated that is a core to who the character is and what they're about and how people perceive them and see them. Then I can understand why that might be more of an issue. But they don't. I don't think that's the same thing.
I agree with that. And just side note too, I'm not down talking the girl, but yeah, she basically, there was a lot of people making an uproar about it, and she had a bad press run where she kept saying shit and people were like, she dug herself a grave for no reason. You just gotta leave it alone. If they don't like you casting it, who fuck cares, right? People didn't like Halle Berry as Little Mermaid. She did I saw the movie in theaters with Tina and her sisters. I thought the movie was great. I thought it was a fun time. Very fun. Look past the things. Now,
I'm sure Rachel Zegler had a great performance in Snow White. I don't know. I haven't seen it. Again,
I've never seen it. Yeah, I don't know.
I was just talking about the aspect of that seemed like something that was core to the character. And
no, that's 100%. And yeah, it was just one of those things where I agree. I think that it is important to the character at that point, right? Because again, as far as I'm aware, as far as you're aware, yes, Snow White. I think the whole thing was her skin supposed to be as fair, white as snow. Technically, it's why she's called
right. You can't have a white person play Black Panther. It's core. Right.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's the same thing. It's core to the character. Sense. Their African roots, being in Wakanda, all of these things is critical to portraying this character and to who this character is.
Yeah.
So you can't just change that, that's more of kind of the idea of what I was going for.
So I think it'll be fine. I think people just got to stop being dramatic. Now, again, with the series trailer, I think the trailer was good. It was very interesting. It pulled me in. The music sounded great. It seemed very interesting and fun. Having not seen the movie, I'm excited. I want to go watch the movie so I can be able to enjoy the show. Hopefully, I'm sure they'll get greenlit to go through all of the books. But what's interesting is I feel like, well, I got a hot take possibly for this, is I think that after the information I was able to gather, because I kind of did a little digging just on the books versus not books versus movies, what the content is, but book length and everything. Because I want to understand how long are these books versus, what they're adapting to. I think that this season will be good, but will be the worst season out of all of them if they're all going to follow the books, because this is the shortest book out of all of them. And I think that
sounds like you're just saying it'll keep getting better.
I think it'll only get better because you're only going to have more content to work with. The movie, you're going to be able to expand even more. Let's say they do 10 episodes. You're going to be able to go so in depth with this. And the casting for Harry and everybody and everything outside of what we've seen has looked good. I just think that, you know, when you're adapting it from a book, if you're going to turn into a show, more content, the better, guaranteed. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be a bad season. I'm just saying that I think by the end of this run for Harry Potter series, that people will be like, no, the first season was good. It's going to be one of those shows like, no, that just gets you into it, but you got to watch it because of like everything else that, like, kind of Game of Thrones got like, was good in the beginning, got real good as you got deeper. We don't talk about the last season. So I think that's what's going to happen with this. I'm excited. I want to see the movies now. I want to get a little more involved into the Harry Potter sphere. And I think that we're going to get some good work out of this. Excited to see, you know, what comes from it, but more excited to see what other people have to say about this Harry Potter series and this being pretty much direct adaptations of the book and the movie. You know, some people are you guys against it in the comments about them just basically you could say reskinning a story again in a different format, or what do you guys think? You think it's going to be better?
No pun intended.
No, that's crazy. Oh my God. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Do you get it?
Wait, get what?
Reskinning.
Oh, you're so stupid. I'm so sick and tired of you. I'm so sick and it's better than your intro puns.
The book wasn't the only thing they reskinned. No, anyways, it's just a joke. I'm fine with the casting. I'm excited. I hope the performance is good.
Damage control. Real
quick, while we were talking, Rodney Joyce gave a $20 super
Thank you,
chat.
Rodney.
Thank you, Rodney, for supporting the show, for just being here, for showing your support. I had nothing to say. Just wanted to give out a super chat. Thank you. So what are your guys' thoughts about this? Are you excited about the show? Now that you've seen the trailer, do you think it was a good trailer? Do you think it was a bad trailer? Are you excited to see where they're going? Or does the trailer make you not excited for the show or more excited for the show? Did you like the music in the trailer? Did you like, were you fine with the casting? What are your thoughts? Let's see. What do we got here? Okay. XF says, unfortunately, I saw the trailer for Harry Potter on Amazon. It just looks and feels like a Hallmark Channel Studios take on the books. I don't care for the look. Probably a hard pass. Sorry, guys. Hey, that's fine if you didn't like what you saw. But I don't know what you mean for Amazon. It's for HBO. But either way, like maybe you saw some kind of Hallmark version. I don't know for Amazon. I don't know. But hey, that's fine. Not everybody's going to like it. Tariq says, okay, I'll let me at first. I was not a fan of them remaking Harry Potter, but after seeing the trailer, I will give this a chance. I'm a lifetime fan. I do think something tells me the fans of the books are going to enjoy the show more for the same reason you said. They can explore more of the books. Mm-hmm. XF says typo HBO. Okay, there we go. Richard says, I don't care about who plays Snape. I have a problem with his outfit. He looks like he walked in from a South London council estate, not a wizarding school. James says, I hear John Lithgow involved. He's a good actor. I liked him in Third Rock from the Sun. Yeah, he's going to be playing Dumbledore. Star-Lord says race swapping is the least of my concerns.
It's the lowest concern of like anything. It's not an article, Cam, but I do have one other thing I want to bring up, a different thing that's occurred because we've talked about this sphere so much. It involves AI.
Do you want to do it now?
Well, yeah, if we're done with the comments, then
yeah. Oh, okay. Tariq says, now regarding Snape being black, I'm willing to give the guy a shot. Is it supposed to be book accurate, Snape? Apparently, so let's see what he can do. No need for the death threat. That's uncomfortable. Yeah, are there death threats really? Grow the fuck up. Are you serious?
5 years old. It's fucking ridiculous.
What? Let him let if you don't like it, you don't like it. I get it. Don't watch it. I mean, but death threats, who needs to? Whatever. Let's see. XM says the Snape casting is a non-issue. There's other aspects to this I'm mixed about, and that's fair. Tariq says I'm a Harry Potter fan no matter what they do, so I have high hopes this would be good. John says Denzel got an Oscar nomination for playing Macbeth, who is Scottish. Sometimes it's an interpretation. If you prefer the older version, watch that. That's fair. Tariq says The Goblet of Fire is the biggest book, so that right there is what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I think the more content you get out of it, the better. Or the
please
more.
please don't change the Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Dumbledore asked calmly, and then it cuts to the movie version. Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? It was
Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
All right, what did you want to say? Was there something?
This is completely separate from any article that we touched, but I know you're going to be so interested in it. And I meant to bring it up to you, but there hasn't been an article on it from one of our sources that we typically use. Boy, this is going to be one.
What's the source? Make sure you give us the source.
I don't really have it. Okay.
Or is it something that you've heard about? Like
No. I can give you a source. It comes directly from Higgsfield AI, which is an AI generation company that not only has they just produced their first episode of a AI generated action series called Arena Zero. A bartender from New Brunswick got paid $1 million to use his likeness in this. So we just seen our first ever deal. He did not step foot into a studio. And in fact, Higgsfield AI even commented on their YouTube channel where they posted it. They posted, we just saved $100 million in 4 days making this AI movie. Arena Zero's long form AI filmmaking, and it's just the beginning. We have now seen what, as far as I know, is the first contract of someone getting paid out to just use their likeness. They didn't step into a studio. They didn't record a line, nothing about it. If you want to watch the first episode, go on YouTube, type in Arena Zero. It will pop up on their YouTube channel. It's a 10-minute episode. On their website, they have apparently 5 episodes total coming out from what it looks like. But I'm curious to see what your thoughts are. I talked about this on stream. $1 million. He didn't step foot into a Cam, he didn't even have a mic to his lips. Just had to use his face. They scanned his face and put it in. AI film series. 10-minute fucking series already.
Okay. I can't imagine it's good, but let's say someone comes up.
It's not terrible, but you can tell it's AI. But I wonder, I would love to have a vacuum chamber of someone that doesn't know it's AI to watch it. Like I might make Tina watch it and be like, hey, what do you think? Because she doesn't know about it. Like I'd be curious to see like her thoughts on it.
Okay. Yeah. Someone comes up to you and says, I'll give you $1 million to use your likeness, but we're not going to tell you what the movie's about and what your likeness is going to be used for. Are you going to do it for $1 million? You're going to just sign it away? Listen. It could be some kind of crazy shit.
First off, I hope he knew what his likeness was being used for. Second, hell no. Are you kidding me? I'll be in that Black Mirror episode where the president's fucking a pig or whatever it is with my luck. I feel like, fuck no, bro. You're not taking
I'm gonna need some more details.
Listen, $1 million, a lot of money. But for what my face could be used for, I'll never forget. The funniest thing I've ever seen was there is it's a very popular news source, like a Times Union or something like that. And they put out an article online, and it was something regarding like people losing jobs. And the guy commented under, he's like, why did you use my picture? It was like a guy's picture just like at his job. And they're like, Americans are losing jobs like at an exponential rate. He's like, I'm not jobless, so don't put my face on there. Oh, so funny. But crazy, man. Is that not crazy?
That is crazy. I might have to check that out, honestly. Just
Arena Zero. Yeah, check it out. I'm telling you.
Okay. Richard K with a £2 super chat says Cam Avatar is super overrated. Totally disagree. If you think it's overrated, it means that you don't like great things. And that's totally fine. Look, art is subjective. And if you think that something that is objectively good is bad, then subjectively you're wrong. Or objectively, you're wrong, but that's your subjective opinion, right? So that, now I'm just messing with you. I enjoy Avatar. I can understand why it's overrated, but you got to understand if you're 10 years old when this movie comes out, you're going to love it. Tariq says, with a $2 super chat. I recommend Regretting You. I'm guessing that's a movie, so we could put that in the poll real quick, see what people say. Let's see.
I'd be wondering what. I'm just reading this other one too. This is from John. You don't have to pull it up. I'd be wondering what previous relationship this bartender had with the AI company. Why him? 100%. I have not been able to find anything in regards to why him. I'm assuming he must be a friend of the person that runs Higgsfield AI. I've never even heard of Higgsfield AI as is. But there's something, bro. It's that's crazy. It's a whole AI company. You can use their tools and stuff, make image, video, audio, a whole bunch of stuff, characters. So it's a very explorative AI model. But then they just did this shit, which is nuts. It's probably, yeah, I imagine they knew the guy.
Yeah, that does bring up a lot of questions. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, a lot, bro. I will say the beginning, you'll watch it like, this is so ass. It's just insane. $1 million. Walk into my company and tell me you want to use my likeness for people are wondering, it's like a dude that, for people are wondering what the whole thing's about, a deadbeat gamer that gets pulled into an intergalactic deathmatch competition to save Earth. It sounds like an AI generated fucking storyline.
There's gonna be like a scene in there, and he's gonna be like, "I didn't know you were gonna do that."
Like, oh yeah, 100%. He's gonna be like, "Wait, what?" Like,
let's see what people have to say about Regretting You. Just vote what you guys think, and then drop Barracuda. Let me pull that up real quick. I'll pull the super chat up either way, but I'll explain why I might not have seen it, but I'll check it out now.
2025 romance, Mason Taines, McKenna Grace. Oh, Dave Franco. McKenna Grace was from Ghostbusters Afterlife, and she's in Scream 7. 6, 7. Oh, Mason Thames is the kid from Black Phone.
Okay.
No shit. And he's from Black Phone too. Actually.
Okay. Regretting You gets an 83%, so we will give it a was that a regular green bean? All right. Throw it on the green beans.
Yeah, holy shit. Great and then suggestion.
Drop Barracuda says, don't have to read this out, Cam. If the Cam and Zay Instagram is y'all's, I sent a link to my collection to you a few weeks ago. It is, sometimes messages get hidden. And I have to go through requests to see them. I don't see anything from a couple weeks ago. Let's see. Oh, here we go. I see it. I'm going to open it right now and react to it live just because, you know, I remember we talked to you about that. I won't show it if you don't want me to show it, but real quick, I just want to see it because
these dogs sleep like they pay rent around here. It pisses me off.
Let's see. Gosh dang it. Technology. Oh my gosh. Did he say we can show it? I don't know about regretting. Never heard of that. Drop Paracuda with a $2 super chat as well. It says, no worries, didn't mean to interrupt. Hey, no problem, man. You cool if we show it? This is insane. You can show it if you want. Is my 100% super plastic. Look at this collection. Hold on, I'll show you. Come on. Oh my gosh, I am so happy I did not. The craziest thing just popped up. Okay, hold on. Gotta love technology. All right, here we go. The perfect site doesn't exist. What is that? Oh my gosh. Here we go. Look at this, guys. Look at this collection.
Oh my God.
I don't know if it can focus.
What is all that?
It's they're the super plastic. It's like a type of collectible.
Oh my God.
And they're all in those boxes. He said he had every one, including like the prototypes. Unreleased
Dude, what
figures.
the hell? That is
he has
crazy.
more. He has more pictures in here. All kings, queens, some of the. Oh my goodness gracious. Dude, that is so cool. It's so cool to have like hobbies like that, you know? Like whatever you guys like
That
to
is
do and
so
collect.
sick.
That's awesome. Well, guys, hey, let us know if you guys have hobbies, you know, show us, send us
I
on
hope you guys
Instagram.
have,
We'd
I hope
love
you
to
guys have
see 'em.
hobbies.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like if you guys do anything, like let us see them. You know, that'd be really cool to see. Maybe we can get a PO box at some point, just because like that would be really cool to like check
That'd
out.
be fun.
But yeah, you guys, crazy episode, crazy news. Excited to get back into it next week. Hopefully we can do Friday again. It's been a little bit back and forth, but we have things going on. You guys can see it on the community post, but we will try to be back next week on Friday. If not, hopefully maybe Saturday, but we're going to try to be back on Friday next week. Thank you guys for stopping in, for being here on the show, and keep on keeping on. We'll see you on the next one, and
Peace.